In a small town in England, an old man purchased a fine horse for the hefty sum of £30. Upon returning home, he faced his wife's stern opposition, as they were nearly too poor to pay their rent. Despite the horse's nobility, it wasn't suited for plowing, prompting the wife to urge her husband to sell it. But who else would pay £30 for a horse that couldn't plow? That's when their son Albert spoke up.
I'll raise him. I'll raise him good.
The wife agreed to give the father and son a month to train the horse. If it couldn't plow by then, she would sell it herself. Albert thus dedicated himself to training the young horse, which he named Joey. With just a whistle, the spirited Joey would come running. Not long after, the landlord came to collect rent which they couldn't pay. The father begged for more time, promising that they would use the horse to cultivate the wasteland and repay their debt with the crops. The landlord laughed at the idea, but agreed to a bet that if the horse could plow, he would give them more time. The landlord was soon chased away by the family's geese, and the local villagers gathered around to watch the spectacle. Desperate, the father wanted Joey to learn plowing quickly, but the soil was too hard. The villagers thought the idea of a small horse plowing was ludicrous. Then a heavy rain came, turning the father into a laughingstock in the landlord's eyes and sending the onlookers home drenched. But it was then that Albert noticed the rain had softened the soil.
No, boy! You've got to do it, Joey!
With Albert's encouragement, Joey seemed to understand the stakes and, following his master's commands, put all his strength into moving forward. Finally, with Albert and Joey's efforts, the horse began to move, bringing a relieved smile to the mother's face. Joey, as if to prove himself, moved swiftly and managed to till the wasteland. Albert's family was able to plant their crops as they had hoped. However, just days later, perhaps by divine intervention or a twist of fate, a torrential rain flooded the fields. In 1914, with World War I underway and facing financial hardship, the father sold Joey to a British officer. Albert, heartbroken, tearfully bid farewell. The officer promised to take good care of Joey and to return him if possible after the war. Before leaving, Albert gave Joey a piece of a battle flag, a symbol of his father's military service. Joey was then integrated into a cavalry unit where he met a warhorse named Topthorn. During a training exercise, Joey and Topthorn performed equally well, outpacing the other horses. Days later, they were part of a surprise attack on a German border unit, but the Germans were prepared, having set up heavy artillery on the flank of their camp. Shortly after, Albert received a letter from the battlefield containing a drawing of Joey and the news of the officer's death. Meanwhile, the Germans planned to execute the captured horses. Fortunately, a soldier suggested using the horses to transport the wounded. The commanding officer, thinking it nearly impossible to repurpose war horses for such a task, ordered their execution. At this moment, Joey stepped forward to save his kind. Breaking free from his restraints, he voluntarily harnessed himself to demonstrate to the other war horses, inspiring Topthorn to follow suit. This act spared them from being executed. The soldiers were astounded, their faces a mix of surprise and admiration.
Whoever taught you this has just saved your life.
But within a few days, the troop had to draft soldiers for the front lines, and the 14-year-old younger brother was chosen. Knowing the perilous fate that awaited, the older brother, who had promised their mother to keep his siblings safe, decided to act. On the evening the troops were to depart, he rode Joey and whisked his brother away. After hours of travel, they found refuge in a windmill house. However, the German forces quickly caught up. That night was marked by gunfire, ending the lives of the two young men in a foreign land. The next day, a little girl discovered Joey and Topthorn at the windmill house. With her parents lost to the war, only she and her grandfather remained. The arrival of Joey and Topthorn brought a new light into their lives. The girl took great care of them, providing delicious food and teaching them to jump fences. However, this peaceful interlude was shattered by the arrival of German troops, who not only took their food but also seized Joey, leaving the girl heartbroken. Her grandfather pleaded for the soldiers to leave one horse, but the officer replied that war spares nothing and no one, men and horses alike, must serve. Eventually, the officer took Joey and Topthorn away, leaving the girl in tears with her grandfather. What awaited Joey and Topthorn were grueling trials. On the battlefield, the German forces used war horses to haul heavy cannons, and many horses perished from exhaustion. When it was Topthorn's turn, a kind-hearted old soldier noticed his severe leg injury and pleaded with the officer to spare him. The officer warned the soldier not to get attached to the horses, as loss would bring immense pain. But at that moment, Joey, in a heroic effort, stepped forward to save Topthorn again, taking on the burden of hauling the cannon to the hilltop wearing his hooves thin. It was only upon reaching the summit that they realized the war was just beginning. By 1918, as World War I neared its end, Albert had enlisted, never forgetting his promise to Joey. Amidst the chaos of war, as young lives were lost and soldiers were torn apart by artillery, Albert was engulfed in poison gas, his fate unknown. As the German forces retreated, Topthorn, wounded and exhausted, collapsed and quietly passed away, leaving the old soldier heartbroken. The advancing British troops took the old soldier prisoner, leaving Joey alone beside Topthorn, unwilling to leave his friend's side. When a tank approached, Joey found himself cornered, then seized the moment to leap free. He ran desperately through the battlefield, driven by fear and the will to survive, knowing that to stop meant never returning home. In the midst of the battle, Joey remembered Albert, Topthorn, the old soldier, the little girl, and the German brothers. At dawn, when the guns fell silent, British soldiers discovered a warhorse trapped in the battlefield, and so did the German troops across the field. In disbelief at the horse's miraculous survival, both sides began to call out to Joey. In a bold act of defiance, a British soldier holding a white flag ventured into no man's land to save Joey, who was entangled in barbed wire. Just as the situation seemed hopeless, a German soldier appeared behind him.
I thought perhaps you might need these.
In a moment that should have led to conflict, the two soldiers, brought together by a warhorse, found a brief peace. They then discussed how to cut the barbed wire without injuring Joey.
I'm not going to cut the wire here.
We need more wire cutters!
Soon after, they freed Joey from his restraints, but the question arose, to whom did Joey belong? After some deliberation, they decided to toss a coin. The British soldier won and the two shook hands amicably. Before parting, the German soldier gifted a pair of pliers as a keepsake. Joey, severely injured, was taken to the army's medical station, where Albert was also being treated for blindness caused by poison gas. Upon seeing Joey's injuries, the medic deemed his survival unlikely beyond 7 days and considered euthanizing him to end his suffering. However, Joey sensed Albert's presence and limped towards his master. Joey had waited and hoped for this whistle for 4 years, recognizing it as Albert's. The medic, moved by their reunion, promised to do everything possible to heal Joey. Soon after, World War I ended, and as per military orders, all war horses were to be auctioned. The soldiers pooled together £29 to enable Albert to buy back Joey, but then an unexpected incident occurred.
£100!
Sir, if you bid against me, I will sell the coat on my back and bid to 110. And if you bid against me again, I will sell my farm and bid to 1,000.
The horse was all that remained of the old man's memories of his granddaughter, taken by the war along with everything else he held dear. As the old man prepared to take Joey away, Joey instinctively ran to Albert. Witnessing this scene, the old man let go of his intentions, taking out the battle flag instead.
Do you know what this is? You may have this.
Thank you ever so much for this, sir.
And this. No. Not necessarily. It belongs to you. That is, of course, what my little girl would have wanted. And she was the boss.
Perhaps giving up Joey was the last thing the grandfather could do for his granddaughter. Not long after, Albert and Joey embarked on their journey home. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this.